The next zipper that we're doing, the lap zipper, is a zipper you find mostly in women's clothes, maybe along the side of your skirt or the side of your dress. And it's a zipper that, unlike the centered zipper, is hidden underneath the fabric, and it gives a really nice finish. Like the centered zipper, it's not a hard one to sew. So, if you follow me, I've already sewn like I did before, using a long basting stitch, so my longest stitch length for the opening for the length of the zipper, and then I've finished up the seam where I want it to go. So now I'm going to pin my zipper to the right seam allowance. Again here, I've been using a longer zipper. You can use a zipper that is the same length as your seam as well. I want to make sure that my zipper is centered over the seam. So just check as you go. You're flicking your actual fabric over, away from the seam. Pop on your zipper foot with the opening on the side where your zipper is going to go. And as before, you're going to start sewing the zipper to the seam allowance. This time you don't have to go as close to your zipper, because we're going to sew it again. And back stitching at the end. Clip your threads. The next thing you want to do is open up your zipper and flick it over like this. Ideally, you're going to give this a nice press so it looks nice and even, but I'm just going to sew it like this for demonstration purposes. If you like, pop another pin in as you go. And you can see how my zipper now sits next to the seam. And I might just pop another pin in here. I'm going to move my zipper foot over to the other side. Just making sure the thread's out of the way. And go through the groove. And now I'm going to stitch quite close to the zipper. So I want to stitch this bit of fabric down. Take your pins out as you go. And you can see why it makes sense to pin with the pin heads facing down towards you. Makes it so much easier to pull them out. Okay. Easy. So you're nearly done. What you have now is your zipper stitched like this. The next thing you want to do is open up your fabric. And you can see now that even though I've sewn my zipper and it's still kind of in the middle of the seam, it now is covered by this seam a little bit. So again, you could use hand stitches, but using pins is just so easy. You want to just affix the zipper tape to the fabric. You might find that after a while it's quite easy to do without pins, because we've sewn it in place quite well. If you feel confident doing it without, of course you're welcome to do so. If you have a pin in the way, just take it out. You can always pop it back in. And you want to make sure that the distance is even all the way along, so your stitching will be even as well. So what I want to do now is sew along here and have a half rectangle. Moving over my zipper foot again. Right, making sure that my zipper is down there. And again, the edge of the foot here is flush against the edge of the zipper tape, because that's my guideline. Always backstitch to secure your stitching. Keeping your fabric kind of nice and spread out and flat. Okay. Next thing I want to do is go just to the middle here. Making sure I don't go over the actual metal bit, and backstitch at the end to secure my stitch. Cut your thread. I have a zipper that is hidden in my seam. Really neat and beautiful. Again, just as with the centered zipper, before you cut the extra bit off, you want to make sure that you sew across, obviously not closed, but open, to secure your feet so the zipper doesn't come off. So you're creating your own zip stop. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is the invisible zipper, which is just an even more beautiful finish, but it's not as strong as our first two types